as they have boarded this. This is all part of an immigration enforcement operation happening right now in LA.
Well, Homeland Security just conducted one of their biggest raids we've ever seen, and it happened to be in Los Angeles, and the mayor of Los Angeles is very upset.
Yes, my comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now.
Mayor Bass just showed up to the scene and demanded that Homeland Security leaves the area. So we have a lot to dig into with this story. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well, and I think people want to see what's happening right now with the mayor of Los Angeles and Homeland Security.
This large convoy of federal agents and military in this area of Los Angeles.
Okay, before we get to the mayor of Los Angeles, we need some context. Basically, at 11 a.m., Homeland Security showed up to an area known as MacArthur Park. Now, a lot of Homeland Security agents showed up, and they surrounded the entire park, which means it's not that difficult to find out Homeland Security is in the area.
There's large amount of law enforcement at a public park in Los Angeles, California on July 7th.
Now here's the thing, the reason why it's relevant that protesters are showing up, when it comes to Los Angeles, they communicate from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom. The mayor of Los Angeles has even admitted she has watchdog groups to make sure she knows where there are federal agents belonging to Homeland Security. So of course the mayor is going to show up almost immediately to this operation.
I am going to say,
Mayor Bass, I need to get my phone and we're departing.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor Bass.
Mayor Bass.
Any comment, Mayor Bass?
Thank you.
Mayor Bass, any comment?
Yes, my comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now. They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
Who did you speak with?
Just wait and see.
Mayor Bass,
They will be leaving soon.
Mayor, who did you speak with on the phone just now? Who did you speak with on the phone?
The head of customs.
Wow.
Before we continue, make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can give you guys more updates on this story and others just like it. Okay, so first things first, when you look at this piece of footage, it looks like the mayor of Los Angeles gets on the phone and Homeland Security, they decided, you know what, we have to get out of here. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. We have to remember, Homeland Security has jurisdiction over MacArthur Park, and by the time the mayor of Los Angeles showed up, Homeland Security already did a full sweep of MacArthur Park.
I think they're mounted PD because they're not supposed to be helping, but maybe they are? I don't know, but you got mounted officers down there as well. So far, I've actually seen nobody going into custody. I've seen a lot of middle fingers go up to the...
Okay, let's jump right into the horses and the men in tactical gear. The first thing I want to point out is there is basically nobody in this park. So what we can see is when Homeland Security shows up, people start to disperse. Now, the other thing I want to point out is when it comes to Homeland Security and going into MacArthur Park, this is really a sign that Homeland Security is willing to step it up, especially in a sanctuary city like Los Angeles, where Homeland Security is willing just to show up in the heart of Los Angeles, right on the doorsteps of where they're saying MS-13 is, and Homeland Security is not afraid to take over a park, sweep it, and make sure there's no MS-13 in the area.
We don't need troops to do that. And by the way, how about using undercover folks or drones? They really needed to use all of that military equipment as reconnaissance?
Yes, you think it was just a dog and pony show?
Well, I call it a political stunt. If you want to call it a dog and pony show, go right ahead.
Okay, so Karen Bass did a whole post-press conference talking about her dislike for this operation, but she actually gave us a key detail, talking about how this was more of a reconnaissance effort, where she says you don't need troops to do this, and there were no U.S. military troops in this operation. She is saying you can use drones or other means to do your reconnaissance. But we have to remember, when it comes to sanctuary cities like Los Angeles, they have virtually been untouched by federal agents. And if you know anything about reconnaissance, this could be the setup to a bigger or broader operation. So again, just because the perception is we are seeing people on horses and tactical gear just walk through a field, this is clearly just political. This could be stage 1 to a bigger operation where federal agents are making it known they are here to stay, and we can be in this area if we want to.
MacArthur Park area of LA, an area that he says has a heavy MS-13 influence. Mayor Bass right there demanding that the raids stop. And you can see that it's getting a little physical right there as the crowd is kind of pushing towards this police vehicle.
I want to remind everyone, when it comes to a sanctuary city like Los Angeles, they have a policy where local police are not supposed to be working with federal agents in any deportation operations. I mean, check out this clip.
Look at LAPD Nazis! LAPD come to back up ICE!
And we have seen this before, where the LA Police Department is showing up in the area to protect the citizens and to make sure traffic is still flowing. However, they're being accused of working with federal agents. And again, you have to remember, if the police department has a very bad reputation or it looks like they're working with Homeland Security, these watchdog groups will report it to the mayor, and the perception looks terrible. So I'm trying to give you guys this broader perspective that the federal agents are really on their own here.
The armored vehicle, a large number of, I would venture to say those have to be agents, maybe agents and, some other, and you've got the mounted, and I don't think they're mounted PD because they're not supposed to be helping, but maybe they are. I don't know, but you got mounted officers down there as well.
Even the local news network is calling out, hey, the police, they're not supposed to be working with Homeland Security. But I just want to point out, when it comes to Los Angeles, and I've said this before, everybody communicates with everyone. Unlike other sanctuary cities, Los Angeles has dedicated watchdog groups to watch Homeland Security, and they also get a lot of their information from the local news networks who are filming these operations.
Frankly, it is outrageous and un-American that we have federal armed vehicles in our parks when nothing is going on in the parks. It's outrageous and un-American that the federal government seized our state's National Guard. It's outrageous and un-American that we have U.S. Marines who are trained to kill foreign soldiers overseas deployed in our American city.
Now, Homeland Security has not directly responded to the mayor of Los Angeles yet. When I get that information, I'll make a video on it. However, Tom Homan has made it very clear. If you oppose Homeland Security or these deportations, that's okay. But if you get in the way, then more agents will just show up, and that's basically what we're seeing in Los Angeles.
To the criminal cartels of Mexico, at the RNC, I said a speech. I said two things at the speech. If you're in the country illegally, you better start packing now. We're keeping that promise. The other thing I said, I stated at the RNC, that President Trump is going to designate the criminal cartels of Mexico as a terrorist organization. He's going to wipe you off the face of the earth.
The Trump administration has made it very clear with the new designation of these Latin American gangs as a terror organization, they literally consider themselves at war, and legally speaking on home soil, this is why we are seeing such a heavy federal presence, with Homeland Security assets, whether it's ICE or Border Patrol, with FBI agents, a lot of times they're working together in these operations. This is why we are seeing so many federal assets in these sanctuary cities. To the Trump administration, these cities are virtually or have virtually been untouched. And because of this, this means we have terror organizations who are operating without a threat of dismantling them. And the Trump administration wants to let MS-13 know, and these other terror organizations that we used to call cartel or gang members, it's over. Sanctuary cities are not safe anymore for these terror organizations.
To anybody that assists them, anybody that sells their drugs on the street, anybody that assists these cartels in any way, you are helping a terrorist organization, and the weight of the world's coming down on you. The police commissioner of Boston, you said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston, I'm bringing hell with me.
Tom Homan said from the very beginning, even if you are an associate or working with these organizations, you will also be in trouble. And of course, when it comes to sanctuary cities, we know Tom Homan, but really the entire Trump administration, not a fan. And when it comes to the law, the federal government supersedes the state government, which means the operation we saw in MacArthur Park is probably going to be just the very beginning of these type of operations we see.
Feel safe as American citizens. Having this amount of law enforcement show up to a public park feels overwhelming. I'm staying safe. What are you guys doing here? Who is your supervisor? Who can tell them talk? What are you going to do with that hot shit guns? What are you going to do? We are American citizens.
So let me just tell you, and then I'll also, of course, turn it over to my council colleagues. I think our actions have been concrete. There will be an executive directive coming out from me in the next few days, but one of our recourses is legal, and working with our city attorneys as well as outside attorneys, some of whom are here. So filing lawsuits, still having faith in at least one branch of our government.
Okay, as far as the legal implications here, I don't know what can be done to sue Homeland Security, who are well within their legal jurisdiction of a public park. Now, I do want to point this out. As far as an argument against Homeland Security, a park is considered a soft target or a soft spot for operations. Basically, there are a lot of civilians in the area, and if you have one intended target, especially an MS-13 member who we are calling a terror member or a part of a terror organization, this could be very problematic for people in the area. I mean, people could get hurt. So because of this, we actually don't see operations like this too often, where we have a mass federal presence going into a pretty big park. This could be dangerous for the Homeland Security officers to hurt other people they did not intend to hurt. Legally speaking, this is well within the right of Homeland Security. And by the way, nobody was hurt. That was filmed by Cam Higbee on X. Make sure to go give him a follow and go support him. He really did highlight on July 4th, there is still a threat for these federal agents. Politically speaking, the overwhelming majority of Los Angeles voters are not a fan of the federal agents in the area.
They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
Who did you speak with?
Just wait and see.
Mayor Bass,
They will be leaving soon.
Mayor Bass, who did you speak with on the phone just now? Who did you speak with on the phone?
They had a pistol.
Wow.
Okay, so a lot of independent media are calling this one of the biggest operations we've ever seen from Homeland Security. Now, I would argue the border wall is the biggest operation. However, publicly speaking, yes, I think this is pretty accurate. We haven't seen so many federal agents just show up out of nowhere, do a fast sweep, and then leave. Now, I do want to point this out. That's really the whole backbone of this story, that now we are seeing a Homeland Security where they can show up in a really big force get the job done and get out of there, especially in Los Angeles. I mean, they're being watched by helicopter crews, by watchdogs, and nobody saw this coming. So this is something completely new, and what we're really seeing is this cat and mouse game. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like to see this, mainly because Homeland Security has already said in the Trump administration, just work with us with the violent criminal members of your local area. Work with us with the local police. We want to go after these terror organizations. However, with sanctuary policies, it doesn't matter. It's all about perception. You heard the news crew. You heard the locals in the area. The local police better not be working with Homeland Security, even though Homeland Security is here to protect the people of Los Angeles. Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and you learned something. I'm trying to give you guys a broader perspective of what we're seeing here. Again, this is completely new for everyone, especially federal agents who are now allowed to just walk into the streets of Los Angeles and do their jobs. And now that the big, beautiful bill is what the Trump administration is calling it, we're probably going to be seeing way more agents in these sanctuary cities. According to Tom Homan, there are only about 5,000 ICE agents, and that is like nothing when you look at the broad scope of the mission. We are possibly about to be seeing 7,000 deportations a day. According to Tom Homan, he's not happy with 3,000 a day, and at the very beginning of the Trump administration, it was supposed to be 1,000 deportations a day. Mathematically, statistically speaking, for these deportations to get done, Los Angeles and the other sanctuary cities in California and along the western coast here, these operations have to be done in these sanctuary cities to hit these numbers the Trump administration is trying to hit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something. Thank you for being here. God bless, and we'll see you all later.